organization and organization.
The government agreed to a recount, which the opposition won. In 2005, Kyrgyzstan's flawed elections triggered the Tulip Revolution. The president fled the country by helicopter. A couple of months later, mass protests flared up in Uzbekistan.
Will it spread? It could if it's handled badly.
It was handled by slaughtering hundreds, some say thousands of demonstrators.
It was mass-scale shooting of civilians from close range by military.
So, revolution interrupted. But with one domino falling in the Middle East, will it trigger more revolution or more government resistance? You know, for Egyptians outside the country, the protests inspire both shock and awe. Earlier today, I spoke with Ahmed Khalifa. He lives here in Canada now, but he grew up in Egypt. And as a student, he dreamed of a day like this, but he never thought he'd be alive to see it. But he's also dealing with a different feeling today, guilt. When you see what's happening in Egypt now, in Tunisia, do you ask yourself, why didn't we do this?
I do to a certain extent. And I think my father is even asking the same question, which is the really ridiculous part. And I always accuse my father of being a pessimist. And now I almost feel guilty for being a pessimist. And I'm looking at the new generation. And they mobilized people my age, they mobilized older people, they mobilized their parents. I'll give you an example. Last night we were sitting here and we were saying, we have to do something, we have to do something. Me and a couple of friends, just a couple of friends. We meet in a coffee shop, 10 p.m. we go home, we create an event on Facebook. We started by 60 people. It's 3 p.m. today. We have 1,100 people in the invitee list, almost 170 people confirmed, almost 80 people said they may be coming, and the list keep growing. I could have never done that without social media, without the internet. It's a great mobilization tool.
But it's a tool. Ultimately, for the people who are walking out in the streets in Tunisia, in Egypt, it's not about tools, it's about courage.
That's an important point. I mean, and this is why I almost feel guilty talking about this here. I mean, here I am in the safety of Canada, and I can say whatever I want, and I can do whatever I want. And every person that moves down in Egypt in the street, I mean, it takes a huge amount of courage.
Is it then that this notion that courage is contagious, that when you see what's possible in Tunisia, that then people feel, hey, we can do this too?
Courage and hope. Tunisia gives Egyptians hope. And then the courage fall. And the younger crowd, this is the first time I see younger crowd inspiring older crowd. It's amazing. It's just, it makes you feel happy, proud, and guilty for not being there.
When you see those images, I'm affected by those images with no ties to Egypt. I see these young people out on the streets, and you can see their hope for change. What do you see? You've got that emotional connection.
You cry. I saw that kid standing in front of the tank, and I was just sitting and crying. And they're chanting songs that the grandparents chanted. It makes you cry. And it makes you proud. I mean, I have cried for Egypt for a long time, but I was always crying in humiliation. I mean, now I'm a little bit, I got the tears of pride. It's a better situation.
Do you wish you were there?
I wish I was there. I would have felt a lot better about myself, maybe bruised, maybe angry. It makes me think of myself at that age, and it makes me panic because I have seen what security forces do to people our age. I mean, all of us have seen it, and it's a scene that it's hard to wrap your head around it. When you see a truck full of kids and you see the fingers of the kids coming out of the silk screen, and they're pointing with the V sign, and you know you're not going to see them again for years, and you know they'll never see a judge. My heart is breaking for these kids, but I really hope they don't stop.
Maybe this time it'll be different.
I'm afraid to be hopeful, but I have been wrong before. I hope I'm wrong here.
You heard Ahmed mention his own event and how he's organizing it on Facebook. It's called In Solidarity with the People of Egypt. He's asking people to attend a rally in Toronto this Saturday to show support for the people in Egypt. And the page went up yesterday. Last time we checked, almost 300 people already signed up and will attend. We're going to pick up another side of the story now. It's the ousted Tunisian president's family, and reports at least one member is here in Canada. Reshmi Nair's been tracking that angle today. What's the latest on that?
Well, Mark, Tunisia has issued an international arrest warrant for former President Ben Ali and his family. They are accused of stealing millions of dollars while in power. Now, there are reports tonight that his brother-in-law is hiding here in Canada.
They are not welcome in Canada. But beyond that, I can't say anything because there are potential proceedings that would affect